Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fighting His Finest coming at y'all with another video. Pay close attention here to the record. We have a very experienced player, 278 wins, 140 losses, right? This is the Plat 3 division. And I had to get my hands dirty in this one because I need to display the power of this back step straight so developers understand and know that this is a problem. I've been talking about this since beta. Proxys has been talking about it. Dark Side has been talking about it. JMMA has been talking about it. King Juices has been talking about it. Coach's Corner has been talking about it. King Diaz has been talking about it. Like I see so many content creators and people who play the game regularly talk about this, and it's not something that the developers seem to have an awareness of. I don't know how. Like I said, I've been talking about this for a very long time, since beta. The backstep straight is broken as hell, and we have been talked about, or it has been talked about the lead body uppercut, but that's not enough, because changing the damage system, and I'm gonna put a clip in here from the roundtable that Undisputed has just dropped, and now I'm gonna put another clip in from one of the live events where this was taking place, and I don't think the developers understand that this is a problem or this is an issue. So, like I said, I had to get my hands dirty and just display it so that as a top player, I can showcase what exactly is going on, why it's effective, and we're going to get into that discussion as well.
More into the community as well is damage and how that's working, and what are we going to do with are there going to be changes done to damage, because people want to know some things to the community. Does it make sense? So I'm going to pass this
Because
one.
right now, I'm gonna say this. I know you guys are gonna be so mad, because spammage can lead to damage, Ash. And we can't have that.
If something rhymes, it's true. So we have we have to
That's a good one,
circumvent
Will. That's a good one.
So Ash, of course, Will just kind of touched on that, but what are we doing when it comes to the damage and the location, like location specific damage, things of that nature?
So look, we've completely changed the system. So I think that's something the community will be glad to hear about. Um, so whilst we haven't, replaced or gotten rid of, the individual damage sides. So you have left, center, and right for both head and body. So there's essentially 6 damage zones. So the damage zones still exist, but we've changed it in a way where you can't just spam like one side of the face and then hopefully that will either knock that person out or get that person into a dazed state. So we've changed it to a system which we feel is more balanced and fair. So we now, we've implemented a system now which has an overall head health and an overall body health. So you can still spam the same side, but it's not going to give you the same result as the game currently kind of provides. So it's just more of a balanced approach. And again, it will encourage players to use combinations. Again, it's like almost 70 punches in the game. People shouldn't, we shouldn't create a game where we've got almost 70 punches and actually the way to beat somebody is just continually spam your left hook or your right hook, because that is,
Yeah.
it's not great, on our part. So I feel like we've given all these tools and mechanics to players to utilize. But again, look, this is part of that learning process, right? For us, in terms of finding out how people are playing the game, because when I play the game, I play it as like trying to play it as a genuine boxing fight, where I wouldn't expect a boxer to go in and just throw 100 left hooks.
So, with that being said, after you guys have just watched the clip there, still seeing Interactive is making the same mistake that EA Sports makes, that 2K makes, and that pretty much every sports game makes. When something is busted, it's not so much the damage system, it's the mechanic. The backstep straight has no counter to it. You can block it, sure. You can evade it, sure. But when it's implemented, you cannot counter it. There's no counter punch that can reach it because of the backstep distance on it. Also, the damage on it, whether it's on the inside or out in distance pretty much is the same. It's going to damage you just as well. It's going to score just as well. And the fact you can throw 2 of them bitches in a row is also an issue, right? But I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible because I know people get offended when you're trying to explain something and you're coming off all aggressive. But sometimes I can't help it because I'm very passionate about this game, right? Spamming is not about damage. Now, recently they made a change where they made the damage zone all 1 overall for the head and 1 overall for the body to discourage same side spamming. But same side spamming could be just as effective as it was before because defensively, it is hard to combat same side spamming. It is hard to combat backstep straights. It's hard to combat the body uppercut spam because it's about the actual punches and the mechanics of the game. Spammers do not care about knocking you out. Knocking you out is not the objective. If they can do that to get the win quicker, trust me, they will do that. But I've been playing Fight Night Champion for over a decade, well over a decade, not to mention my experience on round 3. The thing about spam is about getting the desired result, which is a win. Players don't care what they have to do as long as they're winning. And that ego gets reinforced when they win. So the record only validates the results. So, hey, if I'm winning and what I'm doing is working, I don't care how it looks. And then what I'm also going to do is going to get around a group or community of players, aka other top players. I'm doing the quote fingers because being a top player, in my opinion, you don't play like this. And being a top player is not based on your record. I've been preaching this for years. You can have 1,000 wins, 20 losses, play like this, and to me, you're bad. But when players see the record, or even EA Sports sees the record, or in this case, Steel City Interactive sees the record, then this player, if they have some type of following, which is usually other players who do the same fraudulence, they all get together, they get in a group, they make leagues, they make Discord communities, then they all fight it out, and their record only reinforces the fact that this is okay. And then whatever attention they get on top of it, and this goes for the guys who just throw jabs straight and go backwards the entire fight and run around in loose movement only, which is another issue that needs to be addressed.
Who do you guys have winning in this fight? I want to know. Let me know. Who do you guys? Pryoxis, what's going on, brother? Pryoxis in here, and he's one of the dudes in the winners bracket. He got goated winning the fight. SLK goated winning the fight. This is close, man. This is close. If I had to say who's winning right now, I'll probably be giving it to SLK goated as well because he did really well in that last round. And from judging from that unofficial scorecard, they was tied up. So I think I would have to agree. Oh my goodness! Is it over? Is it over? Because he just caught him with a straight right. Wow. Pull up. Okay. Yeah, like I said, SLK Goated being very, very, very judicious with his punches, which meant he was doing overall more accuracy with a 41% accuracy on the fight total versus 31%. But look at the volume. 717 punches to his 420. There's a discrepancy in the stamina, obviously, but it looks like Games with JH was trying to overwhelm him with volume.
Or the players who just throw double hook to the head or throw directional hook when they start getting in trouble because they know it's not blockable on both sides. This is a mechanical issue for defense before it is about offense. The blocking system in this game does not handle double up punches well. The defensive system needs to be improved, and counterpunching, the effects on it needs to be improved. It's not about one punch knockouts. Players don't care about getting ragdolls. Sure, it looks cool, but I'd rather be rewarded for getting a flash knockdown or at least a stun state where I can make a player fear throwing the same punch. The problem with combat sport games, and I'll give you a perfect example of this, the knee elbow spam on EA Sports UFC 4. The high-low block and the delay that the game has makes it so that when that mix-up comes, it's almost impossible to guess it. Sometimes you can sidestep the knee, yes, but that's if the player is throwing it predictable. A good spammer, and as weird as that comes to say, a player who has half a brain and who is spamming on a technical level where he's only doing one or two things well, which is what I'm displaying in this match here, he's going to switch it up to where it becomes a 50-50 and it becomes a guessing game. And of course, I'm going to use the best players in the game: Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones Jr., Tyson Fury, Muhammad Ali. I'm only going to pick the best characters, or the character that's going to allow me to do what I am attempting to do well, so I can't get stat checked on top of my fraudulence. And the only way to beat me is to do the same thing back. Because no amount of skill that you have, when the game doesn't have a mechanic, aka something like a parry system, and then players want to talk about a vulnerability system. It's not about a vulnerability system. The game needs to make you feel bad for making mistakes. And I don't care how the casual players feel about it, because they're a casual player. They just want to get on here and just throw anything too. There needs to be a real skill gap, and players need to feel the difference for this skill gap. So taking the damage zones and putting it into one damage zone, sure, that's a good step in the right direction. But for a player who does not care about getting knockouts, I don't have to adhere to the damage system, which is what I'm showing you here. And then when you're putting RNG in the game, like the ragdoll, hey, all I gotta do is keep doing what I'm doing, which is throw 20 to 30 punches per round, run around in loose movement. When I can move you into a certain ring position, I will then pop my spam move, which will be the back step straight, or doubling up the uppercuts to the body. And then eventually, I will let your ragdoll system take over, and I will get a knockout eventually. So, while this player, as you saw at the beginning of, or the end of the third round, he ran into the corner because I'm breaking him mentally. Loose movement is just too hard to track players down when they're in it. That's number one. So as the person who is attempting to play fair here, which will be the opponent on the left-hand side of the screen, the Sugar Ray Robinson on that side with the white trunks, he already has to work 60 times harder to get in. Then when he gets in, I'm just going to make sure I pop him with a back step straight or a jab back step straight, get the distance back, score 3 points, and then when he gets overzealous and then he starts trying to throw back in combination, I'm going to spam him to the body, zap his stamina, because his stamina is going to drain from me hitting him in the body in the exchange. And when I'm hitting him in the body in the exchange and there's no punishment for it up top, what ends up happening? He gets tired, he has to rebuild his stamina up, and then I can continue to score points because I don't care about knocking him out. I just care about winning. And as I said before, when I broke him mentally, now he doesn't want to chase me anymore because he feels like, hey, the chasing is what is going to give me, is what's giving this guy the advantage. So what I do here is I stand right in front of his face and I'm going to just jab straight, going backwards with the back directional punches, create the distance, score more points. This is just for frustration, right? If this was Fight Night Champion, I will throw 20 punches around, and you could do the same thing on Undisputed. I will dance in loose movement, and once I score my points and I know I'm on the judges' scorecards, all I'm going to do is run, and I'm going to be patient for 3 minutes until you get impatient or you quit. And guess what? I still have the desired result. So the desired result is just to get the win by any means necessary. So I can reinforce my ego and continue to do the same fraudulence to get praise from players who are also going to do the same thing and then say I'm good afterwards. Then sometimes you will see these players go in and delude themselves and classify themselves as, oh, I'm a simulation player. Then they'll go into leagues just to get recognition from the player base and other members of the community. Do the same thing. And then whether the players hate them or not, as long as they get any type of attention, they feel validated. So the challenge here for Steel City Interactive is to find a way to punish players in game for doing this. And it doesn't have to be cheating, like a cheating system when you ban them afterwards, because I'll just make a new account and do the same thing. It has to be an in-game mechanic that when players do the same thing over and over again and the opponent can read it, they can be punished for it. It can't be a damage change to the system. It has to be a mechanical change to in-game punching. Or defense needs to be upgraded in a way where you can combat this with skill. That is what this game is missing. It's just like spamming and lag on a fighting game. Nobody wants to deal with it. It doesn't make the player good. And it makes for a terrible online playing experience. And I'll show another clip of that.
はい、ドライブラッシュからの投げ。
Okay, so now that we have that understanding and we have an idea of what needs to get fixed, don't try to implement something else from a different game. It has to be something unique to Undisputed that has not been done before. I say use a parry button if you want to use something from before, but it just needs to be something that fixes this problem. That's me giving y'all the understanding, and take what you will with it. Please share this on your social medias. Repost the entire video if you want to on your channel. I don't care as long as it gets fixed. And please, for God's sakes, do a hot fix on the backstep straight range and have some type of counter to it in game. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, comment, and I'll catch y'all next time.